Okay, we're live.
Yeah, we're live. We've been live.
Yeah, let me just get a. Let me try to get this. They really need to improve how you get this link. It's the stupidest thing.
Google wanting you to have convenience. I'm sorry, if they wanted us to have convenience, they would have allowed us to make new 15 gigabyte Google Drives into infinity. I'm not over it! I have to pay money now!
Money! There we go.
Borp.
Yeah. For all the content I've ever made, there should just be a counter for unapologetic burps.
Oh, please. If we had a counter for that, it would already be in, like, I don't know, the triple digits by this point, probably. If we count Novelty Hour.
There are episodes of Novelty Hour that are just us making various grunting noises.
Those are like 90% of the trials, to be fair.
No, 90% of the trial is us coughing and then going like, "You there?"
At least one per trial.
You there? Still there? Coming out.
You there?
I'm just concerned. I thought maybe you left. Man, I should have fucking plugged the Ethernet into my laptop the one time we recorded on my laptop. That might have saved that one episode.
It might have.
Might have helped. I think it was more of a laptop slowdown problem than an internet one. But
what did you say? What kind of laptop you got again?
it is a thing. It's a Dell i5 7th gen.
Ooh.
Fucking Inspiron 15 3000, whatever.
Oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's
pretty good.
Yeah. If it was a scallop, it would be lightly colorized and caramelized and colorized and taste good. What animal even is a scallop anyway?
What is it? A fish? It's not a fish.
No, I don't know what a scallop is. I see them all the time. I don't know what
I
they
have
are.
no idea either. Fuck's sake.
Some kind of repackaged distilled warthog anus, I'm assuming. That's my guess.
Distilled?
Distilled warthog anus, yeah.
How do you just...
I don't know. I saw it on an episode of Anthony Bourdain once.
Just email him. Dear Anthony Bourdain, how do you distill warthog?
My dearest Mr. Bourdain, I'm a huge fan of your show. I've always wondered something ever since I saw this one episode. How exactly do you go about distilling the fine delicacy known as warthog anus? If you could please email back detailed instructions, I would gladly appreciate that.
Fuck.
Yours truly, Warthog Anus Master 69.
No, you gotta add like the 3 X's on either side too.
Yeah. XXX underscore Warthog Anus Master 6969 420 underscore XXXX hashtag.
Now you're getting it. Yeah. Now you're getting it.
Yep. One of those years was the year I was born. The other one is the first 4 digits of my social security.
And what are the other 7 digits?
They're only like 10 digits. I don't remember.
I don't know.
I made that joke a whole 6 seconds ago. You can't expect me to remember that. Anyway, we should start.
Never fear. Short-term memory loss, man, is... Never fear.
Where am I?
Short-term memory loss, man, is... Where am I?
All right. Let's start. 3, 2, 1, start. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Baka Gaijin show with your lovable rascal of a host, Siegfried. And with me, as always, is my incandescent co-host, Kevin Faulkner.
Hello, I'm just glowing today.
I get it. I think that was the first new one in like 8 episodes.
we keep trying. Every now and then we just get one.
I never think of it until like 5 seconds before we start. I'm like,
fuck.
And then I run through my the one I always have.
Yeah.
Remember oh, god damn it. What was that one word in our V3 playthrough I kept switching out for other words and phrases for like 100 times?
Shit. I don't remember.
It was Chapel. It was Chapel.
Chapel. Oh yeah. The Snapple.
For some reason I just didn't want to say Chapel.
To be fair, they say the word chapel a lot in that chapter. So.
Everyone's like, get a hope counter. I'm like, no, get a fucking chapel counter. Exclusively for references of chapels.
Only useful for a single chapter in V3, but damn, do they make use of it.
It's like, okay, in the planning of this game, it's like, all these years I've always wanted to have a chapter where people just say the word chapel constantly. Can we work that in somehow? I would appreciate that. Anyway, welcome to the Baka Gaijin show.
Off to a roaring start today.
Exactly. Whew. Brought to you by replacement headset. My old headset broke like 2 weeks ago, and I sent it in and got this replacement just today.
I'm clapping about the replacement, not the fact that your headphones broke.
Okay, thanks for clarifying, or else I would have gotten slightly upset, but then gotten over it because I'm an adult. Also brought to you by video camera technology, since I'm doing this on my laptop for not the first time, but the first time in a while, and I've plugged it into the Ethernet, so if I can, why not? If I can, why not? And I have my usual Todd in the Shadows thing going on. I say usual, but I don't record myself that often.
Or rather, Todd in the vague silhouette, as it were.
Yeah. And it's something of a shadow, I think. It's dark enough so that something could creep behind me, and then everyone will go like, Zeke, look out! Or rather, Zeke, do a flip, or whatever.
You actually do have like a completely black like hallway over there to your left on my end, so
that's because that's actually not a wall, that's a enclave, and the shadow is just so strong it looks pitch black.
Yeah, anything could come out of it. Anything.
I could just fucking throw this back there. I hit the wall. Let's throw this Five Guys cup.
Into the darkness you go.
I banish thee into the abyss.
Yes, but which layer of the abyss?
No pit is more bottomless than the bottomless pit, which is of course bottomless.
Obviously.
Yeah. Wait, I think the quote is as you can see here, which as you can see here is bottomless. I think that's the one.
Well, whatever
anyway,
it is, it's bottomless.
It is pretty bottomless. Anyway, so let's catch people up. What have you been up to?
Well, aside from the subject we are going to talk about today, been keeping up with a few shows. The usual few shows I've been keeping up with this season. Full Metal Panic 4 is in the second arc of this season, which I think is based on like book 8. It's pretty interesting stuff. We for the first time in like, I don't know, 12, 13 years, we have a new character introduced. God, watching you on webcam, you actually remind me of a friend that I used to have back in, I think middle school. His name was Aaron, and like he would do these like really weird like jerking reactive motions like you just did there. It was just reminds me of him. Just reminds me of him.
Did not say.
It's nostalgic. Anyway, today, Right Stuff had like a sale, just like getting rid of a shitload of DVDs.
Yeah.
Uh,
You buying one of those shitty like fucking discount boxes again?
no. No,
they told you there was going to be nothing good, but you didn't quite expect it was going to be this level of nothing good.
Exactly. It was so horrendously shit. April Fools, Kevin.
You thought there would be hidden gems, but it's just me. Dog shit.
But no, out of the sale, I got Angelic Lair, New Fist of the North Star, and His and Her Circumstances. Came out to about like $31.50 plus shipping.
Well, which is it?
Plus.
Is it his circumstances or her circumstances?
I need to know. Both of
Pick
them.
one and focus on it. Your show is too broad. Yeah.
So what have you been up to?
Okay, so I've been up to not playing a lot of serious games because I didn't have a headset. I just had El cheapo shit phone, which were fine, but I didn't want to sully the games I was playing by using inferior hardware. So I took a break from a lot of stuff. Rayman Legends was free, so I've been replaying through that. Which I love. I love those Rayman games. I want them to make more Rayman games. Got through most of that actually pretty quickly. Other than that, just seasonal anime and stuff. Darley Fra, P5A.
P5A.
Wait. Oh yeah, P5A. Yeah. GGO and the one with the heroes and whatnot. That one. You know the one.
Yes. The Avengers.
Not quite. Not quite. You know, Anime Sky High, that's the one.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesus, they hated Jesus because he told them the truth. Yeah, and all those have been pretty good. GGO actually surprising because they introduced like actual stakes this week, which I wasn't expecting. Or last week, I guess, because
that's
like 2 days.
Yeah, that's kind of one thing that's been kind of a constant throughout the last couple of seasons is it's been a fairly low stakes series thus far, with the most danger the characters have been in being the stand fight.
I was talking about GGO, but yeah, Academia too as well.
Yeah,
I was talking about Gun Gale Online.
But... GGO, but yeah.
It's just me or the frame rate increase on my webcam.
I think it did.
Whoa!
You are now at full 60 FPS. No.
Oh!
Is this the power of Ultra Instincts?
Very well could be. Is this the power of Ultra Instinct? 60 FPS upload. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more hot anime vids. I love people that advertise their channel name and like tell you to like and subscribe and shit when they don't even make content. They just like upload like anime clips and shit.
I see like 10 of those on my feed any given week.
Thank you, Mr. Dragon Ball. Can't watch Super without you.
Yes, exactly how you should watch Dragon Ball Super in randomly selected 5-minute chunks.
No, people have like full Super episode. They just cut out like the OP and stuff. Because that's like the thing that gets cut immediately.
Getting rid of fucking Limit Break Survivor, fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah. Step one for watching New Super: don't go to Crunchyroll because it's crashed. Don't go anywhere else because they probably crashed too. Go to YouTube, which apparently never crashes. Upload the OP, listen to that, and then watch the ripped episode somebody uploaded.
That's galaxy brain level shit.
Exactly. And then try to look up the ED and fail because nobody uploaded the ED quick enough or something.
Boogie back.
Which is amazing. You know what amazed me is Dragon Ball Super had like 13 endings, and like they were all good.
Yeah.
Boogie
Back was probably my favorite though.
I like number 4. I don't even know the names. I just refer to them by number. I like number 4 and number 11. A number
and a side of fries.
A number 32 large. And a diet.
Speaking of games, I have not really gotten much farther in my forced replay of Ys 8 because I've just been way too pissed off by the fact that I have to replay the whole damn game.
Oh yeah, I don't think that happened in the previous episode of the Baka Gaijin show.
Yeah, all the data on my Vita memory card got corrupted, so I had to delete everything.
Yeah.
And now I have to start Ys 8 all over again. And it sucks.
Replaying over and over again.
At the very least, I still have my older 8 gigabyte memory card laying around, so I didn't lose too much time in V3.
That's good, because if you did, all you'd have to do is hold circle and you'd be where you were.
Hold circle, play like 2 mini games every 10 hours, and that's it.
Yeah. So much work to get back caught up on that again.
I
don't like doing that.
That's the problem.
I never like doing that, though, because I feel like the game is judging me like, oh, sure, just skip all the content we painstakingly made for you. Whatever.
I've been through it twice!
Like, no, game, you don't understand. I love you.
I love you, but at the same time... It'd be especially bullshit because I'm like 32 hours into that game.
Yeah.
Which is compared to like... I was about as far into Ys 8 as well, so... But the problem is that...
Wait, hold on. It took you 32 hours to get to Chapter 3?
No, I don't know. To be fair, I was spending quite a bit of time at the casino.
Right. I think, yeah. Some asshat is gonna be like, it took you 32 hours to get through Chapter 1. I'm like, bitch, I was recording it at like 1 line a minute. Of course it's gonna go slowly. We were at like 106 hours by the time we were halfway through.
We need Kevin to read.
Yeah. I got him to read, not to lead.
Yeah.
Like 2007 movie references.
But with Ys 8, it's kind of a different story because that's an action RPG and you can't just cheese your way through it.
Yeah. It's not like Fable where you can hold circle and progress all the way through.
Oh my god. I love Fable 2, but at the same time, it's like, I don't plan on playing it again.
The magic is insanely overpowered.
Okay, Fable 3 is shit.
Magic was already overpowered in Fable 2! And you make magic even more broken in Fable 3! Why are you that dumb?
I've also been playing Fortnite Battle Royale on and off. It's pretty fun, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know, after you play it for a couple of sessions, until Epic Games adds the new mode, which they cycle through modes every few weeks, you've kind of seen everything that there is to see.
Yeah.
Currently, the modes include solos, which is boring, duos, which is less boring, quads, which is squads, not quads.
Triceps, not biceps.
Squads, which is, you know, the way you should be playing Fortnite. Solid gold, which is basically squads, but every weapon is actually good.
Which is basically Fortnite, but every time someone fires a shot, the entirety of B-movie plays.
Oh god. with how long Fortnite matches can last anywhere between 30 seconds and 20 minutes, to be honest. So
okay, your version of the match can last anywhere from 30
fuck you.
The match itself,
It's not my fault. My
about the same amount of time every time. Your perception of that match greatly varies. But the match itself lasts the same amount of time.
It's not my fault my teammates all suck. Jen, please stop. Please. It's a show. I'm doing a show right now. Please.
I know.
Showman!
No, you shut up. Anyway.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I am in a phenomenal mood today.
Yeah. That's good. I remember, I don't know. Not so much in like the last while, but like there was a long stretch of time whenever I record with you, were like, let's.
Yeah.
What? Who killed who again?
Oh God, when was that? I don't remember that.
Like DR2, they're like that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, man, but you might have to turn your webcam off because every now and then your video just completely freezes and I can't hear a damn thing you say because it just mutes completely.
Okay.
Hey, at the very least, you all know what Zeke looks like.
Sort of.
You have a vague notion of what he appears to be.
Yeah, you can't comprehend my true form, but I'm gonna check the thing.
Oh no, my true form!
Remember, if you're gonna check your internet speed, go to fast.com. Companies know about speedtest.org, so they purposefully heighten traffic to that website.
Yeah.
Fast.com is owned by Netflix, so they can't increase speeds to that website without increasing.
Yeah, see, it froze again.
Okay, that's probably because it's getting tested. 25 megabits. Yeah, sure. Hold on. Where is this? There we go.
There we go.
Man, I haven't changed this freaking avatar in a while. Anyway,
isn't that like Beta Oma or something?
No, this is Susumu. It's a Saimeno love child.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think he uses Oma's sprite as a base though, which I'm just like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know why that just felt insulting to me. Like I'm doing reaction faces and you can't see them, so.
It's the downside to having to turn your fucking webcam off to actually get a decent connection.
I know. I was having fun too. I have a decent. It said it was like at 35 megabits, so I don't know.
Maybe it's just that Google Hangouts is bullshit.
Maybe you're bullshit.
No, you're bullshit.
You're bullshit.
You're bullshit.
This episode brought to you by our overlords at Google Inc. Everyone buy a Google Glass. You will not look like a dork. I repeat, you will not look like a dork.
It's futuristic!
The dorky-looking Google Glass is a false rumor spread by the heathens at Microsoft.
To quote classic Zeke Freak, it broke new ground!
That's not even my quote, but okay.
Speaking of which,
Speaking of breaking new ground,
who's the dumbass that's doing Detroit?
Oh, David Cage. He's breaking.
Cage,
oh yeah,
yeah,
he's breaking new ground. All right.
He thinks he is. He likes to believe that he is. He's not.
He broke new ground.
Well, like he broke a new wind. God.
Sorry.
What are your mom like? Shut up!
I'm trying to make fun of David Cage. And then she actually responds back, oh, okay then. That's fine. By the way.
So that makes sense.
That's
understandable.
Yeah, by the way, we're on episode 37, and I just realized that my pinned tweet is still episode 29.
You lazy asshole. How long ago was that? Like a year?
That was April 30th, 2017.
Damn.
We don't record very many of these. Oh yeah, here's that tweet. Still losing my fucking shit that David Cage thinks humanity is going to reach the point of having androids and not fucking notice a single parallel in history if we make them sit at the back of the fucking bus.
Genius. It's just incredibly amusing to me that this guy thinks he's saying something new and provocative, and when really he's just saying he's just masturbating off to the same old dumb bullshit that everybody else who's taken 2 classes in fucking social studies is. I don't know, fucking.
I wasn't listening, but I'm sure that was an amazing rant. Close this curtain.
Actually, it was rather underwhelming, and I'm glad you didn't hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna headcanon it as amazing.
Oh, don't worry. Once you listen back to this episode in like 6 months, you're gonna be like, "Wow, that was terrible. What the fuck am I thinking?"
Probably.
Oh yeah. Speaking of David Cage, there's one tweet. Okay, 2 tweets. There's only 3 stories you could do with androids. 1, androids are slaves. 2, what's it like to be human? 3, murder Son Goku.
That's good.
David Cage, can a robot learn to be human? Yoko Taro, can a human? What? Can a human learn to be human? I don't get it.
I love this tweet. I retweeted. David Cage games are like normal games, but for some reason he always has to show the characters peeing.
From the brilliant mind that brought you press X to Jason. Now comes press X to sadness.
Oh, I love this fucking shitty ass guy and his stupid games, and I wish he makes more stupid games for the rest of his life.
Yeah, but watch, 99% of all fucking hack journalists are going to be like, it's so new and provocative.
I've noticed a pretty even split. I think I'm hoping that Detroit Become Human becomes a great litmus test, so you can figure out what game journalists aren't shit, and actually care about like storytelling and stuff. And ones are just like, oh, this is finally smart gaming for smart people.
Couldn't you do that with like all of David Cage's games?
Yeah, but I mean, they aren't as pretty now, so we need something prettier.
Yes, all that new technology.
Yeah, I want to stream his games so bad for you, but I don't want to buy Heavy Rain again.
Buy it secondhand so that you don't give him money.
Somebody donate me a copy of Heavy Rain so I can stream it.
Open up the Heavy Rain for Zeke Freak GoFundMe.
If I could do it for a Nagito Komeda fidget spinner, I can do it for Heavy Rain.
What are the stretch goals?
Stretch goals, a Nagito Komeda fidget spinner. Personally, I want to create a pile of money so large and so tall and massive that I can personally laugh in God's face for being so fucking poor.
So that's what we've been up to.
Also, I'm looking at my Twitter banner and I just noticed that because of the new circular avatars, Angie's face is now only half blocked and it now blocks all of Kaede's face. And I'm just like, oh God, order has been restored.
Kaede, I'm on the cover of a magazine.
Why does that sound too in character?
Confirmed. Kaede is the Mike Wazowski of the Danganronpa universe.
Don't let some people hear that too loudly.
Kaede is the Mike Wazowski.
Did you see that post I did yesterday? I screenshotted some Shuichi ass blog. It was like, how do you feel about Kaede? It's like, oh yeah, she's a good friend of mine. I'm like, get friend zoned, you fat cuck. It got like 6 upvotes or something.
Kaide's like, here, watch my new piano recital. It's just a clip of Mike Wazowski belching out the microphone.
Max Doodle, if you're watching, get on that. I know you can do it. That seems like a right up your alley. I felt like a dick because earlier Max Doodle tweeted that he doesn't feel like himself. Sometimes he just wants to be someone else. I'm just like, I'm flattered. I'm just
Dude.
I hope he still wants to be friends.
I'm flattered.
I'm flattered. I like to be me too. Sometimes. What the fuck were we even talking about?
I don't know. Do we have questions? I think we have questions.
Started with David Cage somehow. It's always his fault.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah. I do have Beyond though. I could stream that, but then we're going to be going out of order. Not that it matters.
Yes, the David Cage cinematic universe. It's all interconnected.
Starring David Cage himself as Thanos.
We have to start with the game where you have to dodge your entire living room.
Perfect. It's perfect.
So yeah, do we have questions? I think we have questions.
Yeah, I'll do the questions out of the way. All right. These questions come in from Jekyll Geek, who brings us 8 questions this time on short notice. Number 1, what do you think the sex robot situation in heaven is like? None. Robots don't go to heaven.
Racist. I mean,
I'm pulling like a Death Note thing where I'm just like, people who use Death Notes don't go to heaven, and then they just neglect to mention that nobody goes to heaven because there's no afterlife.
It's like
it's like, darn it.
You know, Ryuk didn't technically lie there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's true. You don't go to heaven if you use the Death Note, but you're fucked either way.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was in the anime or not. I know in the manga, Light figured that. I was like, I'm pretty sure he means that nobody goes anywhere.
Well, it's literally the last rule of the Death Note. All everything goes to nothingness.
Yeah. Question 2: Is it okay to call you a Yumino stan? I am neither Yumino nor stan. I do like both of those things.
But her aim is getting better.
My ex-wife still misses me, but her aim is getting better. Her aim is getting better. See, it's funny because marriage is terrible. Number 3, what is Kevin's opinion on Updog?
No.
You're the poorest fucking sport.
Oh, what? You want me to say I'm not doing it? You almost had me.
Okay, then.
You almost had me, and then I crushed it.
Question 4, who gets the most undeserved hate in Darling of the Franxx?
Darling in the Franxx gets the most undeserved hate in Darling in the Franxx. What the fuck are you talking about?
Who get apostrophe S the most undeserved hate in Darling in the Franxx? Probably Ichigo. Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Well, considering people have actually been given death threats and have actually been harassed over Ichigo.
I don't think anyone else would say he was gotten death threats yet. So I mean, there's that. That's probably your litmus test right there.
There you go.
Number 5. Is there any movies you dislike as much as Last Jedi? Dude, there's movies I hate way more than Last Jedi. Last Jedi is bad, but it's not the worst freaking movie ever.
Yeah.
Fucking, there's 100,000 movies worse than Last Jedi.
Yeah, like of the movies I've seen in the past year, Last Jedi is like maybe middling-ish in regards to how much I like it. Bottom of the barrel is Transformers: The Last Night, though.
Dude, I'd rather see Last Jedi than Blood in My Urine, so everything's cool.
I'm sorry, does the blood in your urine have a hyperspace jump through a Star Destroyer? I don't think so.
Number 6. It doesn't matter
Right
comes
again.
fresh, goes better, goes in life with Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets you to staying fresh, cool. Staying cool with Mentos and fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos freshness. Fresh goes better with Mentos. Fresh and full of life, Mentos the fresh maker. Yes.
Fresh goes better.
Number 7. What are the best Final Fantasy games? 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 seem to be like, especially 4 and 6 seem to be like the most commonly accepted, like the best Final Fantasy games.
Yeah. Now, if you're one of those people that likes modern Final Fantasy, because I kind of don't, then I would say, probably like I think everything before 13 is pretty well liked. I think, except maybe 12. I think 8, 9, and 10 are pretty well liked.
I see some people say that they like 12 fine.
Yeah, I don't hear a lot of talk about 12, so I don't know.
I think the most common consensus is like, yeah, 12 was a thing.
Yeah, that was certainly a video game of a description.
That was definitely a Final Fantasy.
You know what? Legally, yes. Number 8. What is the worst meme?
Up dog.
I think that predicts memes, honestly.
It's the original meme.
In terms of shit I hate seeing, that's really hard.
You know what? Call me shit, but I don't like the Captain America meme.
I think there's some clever uses for it.
I haven't seen it.
I hate FBI jokes. Can those just go away? That's not like a specific meme. I just don't like those.
FBI, open up!
Yeah. That's for people that ironically are under 13 that think they're funny.
Oh, you mean the vast majority of the Fortnite player base?
That too. So they're too busy actually swatting people. So
yeah,
you know. That's all the questions. Thanks for the questions.
See.
And then
No. Hold on.
We have Cuba's thing.
Yeah. Cube the third asks.
He asked me. Don't go fucking.
I'm not bringing it up. You bring it up.
He says my email is being a retard, and I think we all know how that feels. But I got something for you to read on your podcast tonight, Zeke. Back in the podcast 0 days, back when I was a young Spriggan, and I still had good kneecaps. In the heat of us arguing about Aniplex, you said that Aniplex is the EA of anime. Well, I know your opinion on Aniplex has mostly changed for the most part. Do you think there is a new EA of anime? If so, who do you think it is? I'm thinking it's Funimation. Discuss. Funimation is garbage, but I don't think they're garbage in the same ways that EA is.
Yeah. I mean, if we're just going by a comparison of just how horrendously shit Funimation
Aniplex
is, yes,
is
certainly.
Pony Can, but I mean, what do they really license these days?
Pony Canyon doesn't even. I don't think Pony Canyon USA even exists anymore because I think they're mostly just a sub-licensing. I think they're mostly just sub-licensing company now because Pony Canyon USA did upload like trailers for Cutie Honey Universe and Fist of the Blue Sky Regenesis before those aired. But Cutie Honey ended up going to High Dive and Blue Sky ended up going to Crunchyroll. So
yeah, I'm looking at it real quick.
Honestly, I don't think they've released anything since I think Edotama.
But when they did, they were honestly worse than Aniplex ever was.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
I like how on the Pony Canyon US website they have a Spotify playlist with all sorts of anime themes just like integrated there.
This is the only good part.
Let's see what they got here on their Spotify playlist. The Attack on Titan theme. Aitayo.
You don't even own that, you bastards!
Aitayo, Fairy Tale main theme, Pure Heart, Blue Dragon main theme.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a weird assortment.
Okay.
I'm just looking through their.
Hashtag it is something.
That second season of Sound Euphonium was pretty recent, wasn't it? I
I
think.
think that was like 2016.
Was that? I don't know. I hate that show, so it just flies in and out of my consciousness.
Um, fuck.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything super recent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if they're actually licensing. I'll check their news section, but so maybe not them anymore.
Yeah. That said, Funimation is
Something about Kuramuko Collector's Edition reprint.
of the existing anime licensing companies in the U.S. The thing is, you
Since
could
last
make an argument
August,
that
it's just to announce a Sakura pan connell.
Sakura Pan Connell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fuck, man. Don't you just want some bread shoved in with Sakura leaves? It's delicious.
Um, you could make an argument that 4K media is worse than,
Yeah.
but the thing is, that's mostly just centralized around Yu-Gi-Oh. So
I don't think anyone is really the EA anymore because like that's a very specific like financial thing, not so much a what we do with the content thing.
yeah, but he brings up Funimation, and it is worth repeating that Funimation is definitely
You're
yeah.
cutting out for me a little bit.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Stop, motherfucking.
Oh, I have the wired Ethernet connection, so it's not my fault. I'm hardwired, bitch.
Well, I'm still gonna keep going
All right.
because fuck you.
All right.
It is, but yeah, it is worth mentioning. Like Funimation, like comparing them to EA, like there's not really a whole lot of comparison to make, but in terms of pure shit,
Yeah.
I don't like Funimation very much.
I don't like them very much either. I don't like them so much that I haven't really been following what they've been doing all that closely. So.
They've improved somewhat over the last few months, but they still have their issues.
Mm-hmm. They put out that cringy tweet recently, and I forgot what it was.
Oh,
bleached
fuck.
it from my memory.
I think I know what it is. Oh god, it was on May 9th, I think, and they tweeted King Piccolo from Dragon Ball with the quote, "I'm Piccolo Rick."
Yeah.
And everyone was like, Funimation is canceled.
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, like, even if you did that like months ago when that episode aired, it still wouldn't have been all that funny.
Someone actually said it's like May 9th is now officially Goku Day because Funimation straight up assassinated King Piccolo.
More or less. Okay, I froze up. Weird.
We're good. We're good.
All right. So I'm really fucking thirsty, so we're gonna take a quick break. And,
thirsty.
Yep, I'm thirsty. We're gonna take a quick break. After the break, we're gonna keep talking, and eventually we're gonna get to our main topic, which is we're talking about Little Busters today. So stay tuned. I need to pour liquid in my esophagus.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. All right, right back.
Same. Waiting on Zeke. Waiting on my friend Zeke. Hey Zeke. If you can hear me,
I'm back.
bitch.
Me and my brother made fun of earlier. Is that his school is apparently he's graduating. So his school is apparently so desperate to give out these heritage diversity scholarships. They gave him $3,500 for being 15% Chippewa.
That's amazing.
I know. It's like, man, I wish somebody gave me free money for being born. I can't be the only one that thinks diversity scholarships are kind of fucked up, right?
I don't even know what that entails.
It means they give you free money for being a certain race in a certain area.
That is actually very fucked up. What the hell?
Yeah, a little fucked up.
But at the same time, free money.
Yeah, I guess. As long as the broken system benefits me, I'm not going to complain. That's a great message, Kevin. Dick.
Welcome to the dystopia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it does benefit me, then yo, great.
This guy lives off free government money.
You shut your whore.
You just figured I mentioned that. Full disclosure.
I'm disabled. Fuck you.
Oh, really?
Really?
You can't see it, but I'm staring into your soul.
Oh, that's that's what that was. Yeah.
Oh, that's what that chilling, piercing feeling was. Ooh. All right. Let's check something. Anyone listening has comments, you can leave them in our Discord, which I have not provided a link to because I'm a dick.
Should have thought of that beforehand, bitch.
Yeah, well, these things happen. Shoot us on Twitter. You can do that. I have Twitter open.
Twitter.
Wouldn't be surprised. Nobody knows we're live because YouTube doesn't show your sub box in chronological order anymore.
The Twitter.
See that shit?
Fuck YouTube, motherfucking.
Man,
gonna keep using it, but fuck YouTube.
I love you, but fuck you. I love you, but fuck you.
Oh God, it's such an abusive relationship with YouTube.
It's just that's a song by Tech Nine.
What, I love you, but fuck you.
I love you, but fuck you. I love you, but fuck you. I love you.
It's the YouTube song.
Might as well be. Tried to give a dick, but bitch, you wanted ice cream.
You want to get back?
Back to the past.
We'll get back to where you once belonged, but that too.
All right.
Well, where you once belonged may have been the past.
It could have been. Should have been. Would have been. Fuck it. Oh, shit.
What are you shitting about?
Cuba's watching us live while at work.
Yeah!
Hashtag don't tell the boss. Hashtag under the radar. See, I'm deciding if I want to start again now or if I have to use the bathroom. Do I?
Hold up a second.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go before we get deep into it.
Yeah.
Before we go motherfucking balls deep.
I'm incredibly bored. I am incredibly bored. Hope you're having fun listening to me. Cubase a third. God of War, more like God of Boy. Boy.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
Hey.
All right. I'm just waiting for this fucking Tri-C ad to stop, or the Spectrum ad. Sorry, it's a Spectrum ad now.
The fuck is Tri-C?
It's the community college I used to go to.
Ah, okay.
I still get ads from them.
They're like, come back, please. We want your money.
Baby, come back. I'm just like, sorry. I'm like, sorry, babe. Your game design programs are fucking too far away from me.
It's going local.
All right, I'm just waiting for these fucking ads. There's a Cedar Point ad now. A coastal getaway with roller coaster. That's the actual tagline here, by the way. A coastal getaway with roller coasters.
That sounds fun, actually.
I always tell people that. I was like, Cedar Point is great if you like roller coasters. If you don't like roller coasters, there's not a whole lot else. There's not a whole lot else there for you. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. I get nervous. All right, let's get back.
I get nervous when I'm alone.
Right, let's get back. We got some news to discuss, I guess.
Yeah, let's go.
3, 2, 1, we're back. Who cares? Nobody's editing this.
Through tomorrow.
let's stop with the illusion that this is ever being edited.
Oh.
Remember, I edited like the first 2 episodes myself, and it took freaking ever just to download them. Oh yeah, that's right. Cuba's gonna be here. He's gonna be in Cedar Point Wednesday.
Oh, sweet.
Sweet.
Oh, by the way, what news do we got?
So there's that whole Toyotaro nonsense.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you explain that one.
Toyotaro was allegedly caught. I don't know if it's even allegedly at this point.
It's not even alleged.
Was caught tracing over a Captain America comic for the Goku on the V Jump on this month's V Jump this month or next month, whatever the fuck how magazines works. V Jump cover.
Yeah.
And it's not being looked upon fondly.
Yeah.
But I posted on Reddit because somebody posted that that cover on the Yu-Gi-Oh subreddit because it has Yu-Gi-Oh on it. And I got some really bad comments on that.
Oh boy. Yeah. Let's hear them.
It's like someone's like, I mean, okay, I didn't even know that's a problem in this world. Fucking greed. I was like,
fuck.
And someone's like, honestly, couldn't give 2 shits. You're posting this here as if it would change anything. No, I don't think he was responsible for drawing Yuya. I don't think Yuya's traced.
No, he's not. No.
I don't know who drew the Yuya. I'm assuming the mangaka for the Arc 5 manga did that.
Either that or the character designer for the anime.
That'd be my logical assumption.
Yeah.
That'd be who?
I don't know.
All right. Yeah. Also, Cube is going to be at Colossicon, so if you see him, tell him he looks like Adam Sessler.
Don't you knock that off? Come on, man.
If you see him, point at him and shout, "Hey, look! It's X-Play's Adam Sessler."
Stop it! Oh my god, that's terrible. That's horrible. Fuck, I hate Zeke now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to Colossal Con. I've never actually gone. I've been outside of it. I've been at like card game events outside of it, which I probably won't be because
You've been in the vague area of Colossal Con.
yeah, I've been on that weird strip with all the hotels and the businesses. It kind of looks like the Vegas Strip, but it's it's for the Kalahari Convention Center. Yeah, probably not. Unless you really want to see me, then yeah, just because my physical decks aren't super updated, so and I don't even know if there's any like card game events going on in that area.
Yeah,
because those events are never even at the Kalahari; they're like at like a nearby hotel. They're usually like the Sand something. I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, Toyotaro Tracing. That's.
You were the chosen one.
You were supposed to save us.
I'm not even. I don't even know what's going to happen as a result of that. Honestly,
me neither.
I kind of feel like he's in a position where they're not going to get rid of him for it. But like,
yeah, it seems it's from what I can tell, it's mostly just a one-off thing he did. Like,
yeah,
he doesn't trace for a living like a lot of it's not like Gene Simmons' son who literally just traced 50% of Bleach for his comic. Like, it's just one thing for one cover of one issue of V-Jump.
Also, is Sessler dead? He OD?
I don't think so.
What's a Locke saying?
Adam Sessler.
Somebody explain.
Nope. He's still alive. He's still alive.
Yeah. Is he still rocking the monkey hair? Is he still rocking the monkey beard?
No, he's. I don't know actually. I have no idea.
Oh, she was just saying he's on something. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay. Oh. Okay. Thanks for making me think Adam Sessler was dead. That was lovely of you.
Great job.
Speaking of death.
Oh.
Total Biscuit died. I don't know when he died, but the news broke just about an hour ago, I think.
Yeah, about an hour ago. Less than that, actually. Total Biscuit's wife broke the news on social media actually a few minutes before we started recording.
Yeah. I was following the updates pretty closely, and
I was actually...
I know it had gotten a lot worse. I didn't know it was this close, though.
Yeah, I thought he still had a couple months on him, at least.
Yeah.
Just suddenly, Total Biscuit's dead, guys. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's
what a way to dampen your mood.
Yeah, I watched his content for a long time. Even though I'm not much of a PC gamer, I always enjoyed his perspective on things. His very honest and consumer-focused criticism, which I always appreciated. He's always a big advocate for like PC optimization and accessibility features and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and, I'm gonna miss hearing that kind of input. So
yeah, I never did follow him myself, but it's one of those things where I really respected him based on how other people viewed him.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are a lot of people who are like,
yeah,
completely full of shit.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of people tap dancing right now, and we're like, "Ooh, the devil's dead."
Yeah, if you yeah, pro tip:
don't. You know.
But yeah, basically the same. I respect him a lot for his what he offered to games criticism and games journalism as a whole.
Yeah.
And I do think his input is going to be sorely missed by a lot of people. It's certain his input is already missed by a lot of people. So
yeah. So don't want to dwell on that. Just want to acknowledge that because I was a big fan of his, and man, that just sucks.
Rest in peace, Mr. Bane.
Yeah. Anyway, on to happier thoughts, I imagine.
Happier to what degree?
I mean,
considering the series we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's worse things to segue into, but
Yeah.
So
we could segue into a heart attack.
Yeah, this could have been our Death Note episode, and that would have been really awkward. Woo. Dodged that by about 10 months or whatever. And I don't know if it's been that long. Got any other news you can think of, or you want to get into it?
Not really. Let's just get into it.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Little Busters. I went through the visual novel back in January, I think.
No, January is when we finished V3, wasn't it?
February. You know what? No, I think it was more February because in January we were still like going ham recording and stuff. So
yeah, I think you started on Little Busters while we were recording, but like most of it was February.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, and then I watched the anime after that. I have just as a pre-notice, protus, a notice prior to the main discussion. We're not going to be talking about the EX routes or content because I haven't played those routes. I haven't watched those OVAs, and I'm going to assume Kevin hasn't either.
I have not watched Little Busters EX, no.
Yeah, because they're not on legal streaming services.
Yeah. So I just watched the anime and had him tell me the differences from the visual novel, which we will be getting into, I'm sure.
Right. But in general, what did you think opening up?
Well, for one thing, I had an interesting time watching it because I ended up starting on Crunchyroll and then going back and forth between that and High Dive for season 1. And then for the entirety of Refrain, I just was like, fuck it, we're watching it on High Dive.
Right.
And generally speaking, I think it's a great show. Yeah. I can't say that I don't understand. I definitely do understand some people's issues with the adaptation. It does have some flaws, and we'll be getting into them. And it did have to change a lot of things, taking a non-linear narrative where most of the stories have a romantic focus into a non-linear platonic story. That definitely found some issues along the way. But generally speaking, considering what they were going for and what they needed to do to actually adapt Little Busters into an anime, I think the overall result is actually really good. And taking it on its own account, it's still a great show.
Yeah. I think it's probably one of the best visual novel adaptations of this genre, of this variety that I've seen.
It's a very smart adaptation.
Yeah, it's very smart. Unlike rewrite. But yeah,
it goes a bit of a different route than there's another. Well, there are like 3, but I'm gonna specify the one that's liked the most. There's another key anime that's like pretty highly regarded, Clannad, and it goes in a bit of a different route compared to Clannad. Clannad actually cuts out a number of routes and at least one character entirely to try and focus mostly on the primary Nagisa storyline.
I think you mean Nagisa.
Motherfucker, you listen here.
Look, man, they're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable, and it's driving me nuts.
Also, he's not even working at Sentai anymore, so suck it.
I love that. That was from Arcada. I love that clip so much. Putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
But It goes in a different route from it goes in a different route from Clannad, whereas Clannad mostly streamlined the story by cutting out uh, incompatible routes.
Yeah.
For instance, Kyo and Tomio's routes are only covered in one-off standalone episodes rather than being part of the main storyline.
Is one of those the Starfish Girl?
No, that's Fuko.
Right.
And her story is episodes 1 through 8. Which is, of course, a pretty smart way of going about. Which is, of course, a smart way of going about that. But you do miss out on a lot of content from the visual novel that way.
Yeah.
Little Busters goes a completely different direction by trying to adapt as much as it possibly can.
Yeah. Despite the visual novel being significantly longer than Clannad, I think it does it pretty damn well. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that when you streamline it in the way Little Busters does, it kind of accentuates the themes rather than takes away from them.
Yeah, because there's a primary theme of friendship throughout the entire show and throughout the entire story. And didn't you say that like it was kind of difficult to actually portray that in the visual novel because one, it was more fragmented, and two, there was a lot of storylines that had a very strong romantic angle where it was like kind of difficult to get the platonic.
Yeah, like it was. I feel like the group of the Little Busters and how it grows and whatnot is a lot more clear in the anime, because in the visual novel, basically you go through the common route stuff with building this group over time, over the period of I think like 2 weeks. I don't remember. I think it goes from like the third. I think the game starts on like May 13th and then goes to like, and the common route ends at like May 28th, I think.
That lines up with events from the show.
Yeah. So you go through all of that, and then so a lot of those events are not glumped together in the anime; they're spread out throughout. As opposed to the visual novel, where you're going to be going through them with minor variations depending on your choices and whatnot, so that there's some, so that you're not completely bored out of your skull when you're going through it 8 million times. But then you go into the route, and the story proceeds as it is, in either a romantic or quasi-romantic fashion, where a lot of the core 5 Little Busters are pretty omnipresent throughout, in various ways, either majorly or minorly. Usually when you go on a girl's route, though, basically every other girl except for Rin mostly disappears. And that's
because Rin is like the secondary focus, like sort of like the secondary protagonist.
Yeah, although that also is way more clear in the anime, because the visual novel is so locked on Riki's perspective and Riki's relationships with the girl of the week. It's a little bit harder to communicate Rin's importance in the visual novel. It's a lot of, oh yeah, and also Rin was doing stuff, I guess.
And Rin was also there.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot. It's not quite as bad as I'm making it sound. I'm exaggerating, but the visual novel does kind of feel like that, where it's kind of like, oh, Rin's growing too. You're just not kind of seeing it as much, because the visual novel is a bit of a different structure, where you could technically start with any of the routes you want, but the order most people recommend is starting with Rin 1, because that's a great way to introduce the story, which is basically a bad end you have to do. And then you have to do all the other routes, and then you do Rin 2 and Refrain, and that's the end of the base game. So you see those gradual changes as you play through you see those gradual changes in Riki and Rin as you play through the common route multiple times.
The
dialogue changes a bit. Go on. What
does the anime go through the arcs in the suggested order, or do they swap some stuff around?
Instead of third, And I'm not saying Kuragaya is a bad lead-in to Refrain because it's not. I think for the anime's purposes, that was actually the best possible lead-in.
Yeah.
To Refrain, if you're going for a single chronological order of events.
Yeah, because it solidifies the idea of the dream world.
Yeah. Probably should have said spoilers, but I'm gonna assume everyone assumed that. Yeah, for the anime's purposes, that was a good decision. In the game, you want to do Kuragaya's third though, because there's like 2 scenes in Haruka's route that are only available if you've completed Kuragaya's route but have not completed Kud's. So basically, that's already the order. And then after Rin 1, you can either do Komari or Mio, but Komari is, I think that's a better introduction to that system, I guess. I don't know. It's just a better time, I feel. I feel like if you go right into Mio's route, you might get bored and burned out. Not that her route's bad. It's just,
Yeah, well, we'll be getting into the issues with Mio's route here in a sec, but
yeah. So basically, Rin 1, Komari, Mio, Kuragaya, Haruka, Kud, Rin 2, Refrain. It's basically it. And then for EX, it's Saya, Sasami, Kanata, which always confuses me because I want Saya to be last, but it just doesn't make sense if you do that.
Why do you want Saya to be last?
She's new. It feels kind of like, because she's like an original character for that thing, so it feels appropriate to do her last, I guess, in my mind.
Okay.
As like a and then epilogue or whatever, rather than starting. I
don't know what the hell's going on, but you keep cutting out.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I have a wired connection. It's your fault.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, probably. Am I right now?
Yeah, you're fine right now.
Okay. So, we obviously can't talk about Rin 1 because the anime did not really adapt that.
Yeah.
Because it would have broke the chronology. Although I think that would have been kind of interesting if they did. If they just reset it that one time. But I guess they didn't really have the time to do that, so they didn't.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to start with the general setup and then going into Kamari's arc, because that's what happens first in the anime.
The anime.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Kamari's arc is written by Yuto Tanikawa, who also wrote Chihaya and Shizuru's arcs in Rewrite.
Oh,
and
cool.
I think he's actually been with Key since Tomeo After. I don't remember though. He's kind of like the house writer for Key, aside from the bigger names.
Like Jun Maeda.
Yeah, I like Kamari's route a lot. It's a nice introduction, especially to the later themes of life and loss.
Yeah, and it's also very important as like it's just a very good emotional starting point for the series, because of the routes you can do first, it's probably the one that has the most emotional resonance for a general viewer.
Right.
Just the concept of someone having trouble grasping and accepting the concept of death is, I think, something many people can relate to.
Yeah. Maybe not to that extent, but I mean, it can certainly feel like that.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, it's not exactly like that, but it can feel like that.
Yeah. They did change one plot point from Kamari's route from the visual novel, I think for the better, because it was kind of silly in the visual novel.
Oh.
His wife had the same problem about her brother.
You dying. Cut out completely.
Oh, sorry. So in the visual novel, apparently Kamari's grandfather is so knowledgeable about this because his wife had the same problem when her brother died, and she started seeing him as her brother, and that just happened until the day she died. And I'm just like, so you're meaning to tell me this bizarre situation not only has happened, but it happened twice in the same family line?
And you didn't know any way to do anything about that. What the fuck?
I'm like, what the fuck? Is dead Onichan denial just hereditary? What the fuck is going on?
Dead Onichan denial.
How does this happen? They cut that out of the anime. Maybe for time, but I think they like. I would like that part was kind of silly.
Yeah.
And not really needed.
It's just a very contrived circumstance that doesn't really make sense the more you think about it.
Yeah, but also they probably didn't have to explain it as deeply because in the visual novel, it's a very it's a more intimate situation because she thinks he's Riki, the guy she's dating, but also her brother, so also Riki. So it's like it's a bit more confusing in the visual novel. Since they keep it more platonic in the anime, they probably didn't need to go into that with the grandfather's stuff as much. So there you go. I also like the anime's rendition where everyone helps out at the nursing home. As a friend group, as opposed to the or everyone that was part of the group at the time. As opposed to the visual novel, we just go there with her by yourself.
It's really nice to see the Little Busters working more as a unit. In the anime.
Yeah, because by the time you do that in the visual novel, like all the group stuff from the Kamerad is kind of over with, whereas here they're interspersing it more.
Yeah. Here you actually get to see, and it's very effective. You get to see more of everybody just working together as a group of friends.
Yeah. Also, Rin's friendship with Kamari is way more prevalent in the anime. Significantly. There's actually scenes that just flat out weren't in the visual novel that they added purely to develop that. The one that springs to my mind the most is the part where they're working together through the night for the puppet show. This is jumping way ahead, but for the puppet show, like all of that was anime original. Like it was implied in the visual novel, but we didn't get to see it, so that was nice that they threw that in there.
Yeah, I never would have known that wasn't in the visual novel if you didn't tell me.
What?
It's very well done.
Yeah. Right. So the overarching plot is the cat Lennon delivers to Rin and Riki that they have to do, and they get a little bit more contrived each time. Like people disappear that shouldn't, or things seem a little too specifically set up.
Yeah, and like put on a puppet show. Suddenly there are these kids that need to have a puppet show put on for them.
Yeah,
right there.
Save the cafeteria. All of a sudden, like all of the cafeteria workers have other things to do or get sick at the same time, like the next day.
Yeah.
Predicting someone's love sickness and stuff.
Yeah.
So they seem a little bit too contrived, and then by the end you realize that it was all contrived because Kyosuke controlled everything.
It's kind of the whole point.
Yeah. But I do like it's not things, but I really do like that overarching mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of knew I knew the twist going in, but I still really like the execution of it.
I didn't know the twist going in, and it was really effective.
I'd imagine so. I think it was designed to be effective, so I'm glad it was.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that moment where it's like, because there was a moment like when Kyosuke starts explaining everything where I'm like, oh, okay, that makes okay, like it's that eureka moment.
Yeah. Like when like Lennon comes to him, he picks up the cat and he's like, "Do you know the secret of the world?"
Yeah, and then he explains it's like we're in a dream world, and I'm.
Well, I mean that comes way later, but like yeah.
But it does make a lot of sense that it'd be like Kyosuke who goes through it, who's like yeah.
We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but I just wanted to establish the overarching thing. Okay. Right. So a lot of people hate Kamari's voice. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm kind of neutral on Kamari's voice.
Yeah, I think it's better in the anime. In the visual novel, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Some people hate Rin's voice, which I think is really weird.
Rin's voice is adorable. Fuck them.
I know, right? So I guess we can talk about Mio. There's so much to talk about with Mio.
Oh no,
Ironically.
Mio, so much. Yeah.
Ironically, the character with the least to her has probably the most to talk about.
I know. It's so fucking bizarre.
Maybe it was secretly genius the whole time.
Damn you, Key.
I think it's fine. I think her arc touches on a lot of unique ideas, and there's some really cool dramatic moments when Midori steps out from her shadow, and then the shenanigans in the courtyard where she tries to get him to kiss her and stuff like that. That stuff's pretty good. I think. I think the message and the themes are fine of not leaving people behind and whatnot. I think that's all great. I just think there's something about Mio as a character that makes it shaky. I don't know what it is.
Mio just isn't terribly engaging.
Yeah.
And by the time you actually get to the main plot of her route, you don't really know Mio very well. So a lot of, in my opinion, you don't know Mio very well. So a lot of the themes and the story content, a lot of the emotional resonance tends to fall flat in that regard because you just don't know Mio very well.
Her personality can basically be summed up as quiet, likes books, occasionally trolls people in like really subdued ways, and is a yaoi fangirl.
Local Fujoshi.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. And none of all of those traits sound fine on paper, but they're like so subdued, which I guess is kind of realistic. But at the same time, is that what I came here for?
Yeah,
I don't know.
My main problem is that like I think I mentioned this like either partway through Rewrite or near the end of the first season. I said
You said
I meant refrain. I'm a dipshit. I think I mentioned this like either partway through Refrain or near the end of the first season, but I said every time Mio shows up and has to have a speaking role, I keep going, oh right, you're here, which considering what her arc is supposed to be, considering like the entire intent of her arc is to, you know, don't forget people no matter how, you know, small they are in your life and that sort of thing. Considering that's not a good thing.
You know what I think is missing? I think what's missing is the part where because you approach her and because you talk to her, you learn more and that she doesn't have worth or whatever. Like you should have seen sides to her that you couldn't see because you weren't engaged, but then when you did, you saw something else. That's what it should have been. Yeah. But with Mio, what you see is kind of what you get. So there's no real hidden layers to uncover. So it feels kind of like, well, no wonder people ignore you or don't notice you because there isn't a lot to notice. And that message isn't super applicable to real life because I think everyone has those kinds of layers. Even the most basic of people have something about people can appreciate, you know. But I think like in this context, it doesn't work as well. Like the game especially tries to guilt trip you for thinking Midori is, because she is like almost objectively, and like don't blame me for that. Like I understand the point, but like I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't engaging enough, or there wasn't enough of that. Which is ironic considering they tried to trick you into thinking she was wearing glasses the whole time. But not like glasses, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, can you hear me?
You're cutting in and out, but I can get the gist of what you're saying.
Okay. So I was confused because Discord just disconnected, and I was like, okay, did Hangouts disconnect, or probably be on that screen? But I'm just gonna ignore whatever Discord is doing.
No, you were actually going in and out, so you probably were having some connection problems.
That even that sentence froze for me a little.
Fuck.
Nah, I don't know. It's a wired connection. It's your fault.
Watch. Switch over to the Wi-Fi and suddenly everything's better. I can't hear you. Siegfried joined this video call. No, there's two of them. We're having some technical difficulties. Please stand by. Standing by. Still standing by. Still standing by.
Yeah, I'm right. Am I here?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay. The icons are loading really slowly. Yeah, Hangouts just disconnected me for a bit.
Did you switch over to Wi-Fi or something?
No, Kevin, I didn't. It's because you joked about it. No, just stop. It's kind of bullshit. These wired connections are usually pretty secure and stable here, so I'm a little confused. Might just be like more of a laptop problem. Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll just punch it. You know what's funny is that the entire time Discord's down. Fuck.
All I heard was Discord's down.
Okay.
We're gonna have a tough time this episode. Possibly.
You know, I'm gonna pause Spotify here. Probably.
Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, maybe potentially. I know. I was saying that Spotify just kept going even though everything else is down. It's like, well, Spotify don't give a fuck. I think it's that they preload the whole song in advance, so that might have been it. But
yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Fucking Mio or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, the problem with Mia's arc is that she's not a terribly engaging character, so a lot of what her arc has to say kind of falls flat in an emotional standpoint. And here's the thing. I know someone whose favorite character in the game is Mio, and I'm like, God bless you.
Someone says that, I'm just like, why?
No, for me, it's like, you know what? You found something I didn't. Good, more power to you.
You know what? That route really spoke to you. Yeah, I mean, you know, people have weird tastes. Honestly,
I'm sorry.
I feel like I never meet these people, but like some people just have weird tastes. Some people's best girl is cute to me, and I don't understand why. You know, it's like, okay, you do you, I guess.
I'm sorry. Best girl in this game is Kud and or Haruka, depending on your preference.
Yeah. Or Rin. You can say Rin.
Or Rin. Yeah, Rin too. Rin is also an acceptable choice.
Yeah. And then so yeah, it's full of cool moments, neat symbolism, good theming. I just feel like it kind of falls flat in the making you care about Mio department.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, I still don't care much about Mio.
Yeah.
She's amusing sometimes, but
yeah, I guess she's mildly amusing in like the baseball mini games, I guess, just for her weird interjections. There's like her weird interjections, like if I just shout Japan, will everyone laugh? Like,
okay, that's actually kind of cute.
Yeah. Stuff like that, but I don't know. moving on. I think after that it goes into like some more group territory for a while with stuff like the test of courage and whatnot, which actually combines like 4 different scenarios, including the bird thing and the something else I'm forgetting about.
Really now?
Yeah, a lot of those are like separate scenarios that happen either at different times or in like different iterations of the common route. But
in terms of just sheer entertainment, like the Test of Courage episode's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah, and there's a lot of permutations of stuff like that in the visual novel because you can actually like choose your what partners you go with.
Yeah.
So there's a few different permutations that some are just inaccessible, and some combinations just don't work for whatever reason, but a lot of them do. So, and there's other scenarios like that where you pick a person and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love the ending of that where it's like, oh, we were busy with your trap over in the principal's office. Then Kyosuke's like, I didn't set a trap in the principal's office. And it's like, then where did we get this? And then it shows like some sort of like spirit sealing thing, and then Mio's like, it'd be best if you burned that.
Yeah, I think stuff like that always confuses me because I'm just like, is Kyosuke pretending not to know that he did that, or because I'm sure in the scenario the point is that he didn't put anything there, but like as the god of the world, he clearly did. So like, is he just pretending not to have? I don't. It's weird.
I don't know. I love it.
I don't. Some of these common scenarios hurt the more you think about them because you're like, what does and does not Kyosuke know at all times?
Yeah. I just love. I just. That's one of those moments where Mio actually becomes very amusing. It's like she just. It'd be best if you burned that.
Yeah. Yeah. That certainly is a weird thing in the visual novel that all the guys are recycling through the same script, knowingly the entire time.
Yeah.
The girls were not. The way they explain it is weird. Like they were kind of aware, but also kind of not aware. So it's a bit more. It's a bit more vague with them.
Like things just kind of happened, and like.
I think by the end of some of the routes, the girl kind of figures it out. Like, I think at the end of Kud's route, Kud basically figures out that it's not real.
Yeah,
because she's technically angsting over a scenario that didn't happen. You know, because in the real world she failed to go back, so she was regretting that. But then she's like, "Wait, that didn't actually happen. Though I did go back, so this isn't real." So I think by that point, at least in the visual novel, she knew. There's some scenarios like that, and some things that aren't quite as clear. Like I'm not. Maybe I think it's explaining Conator's route, but I'm not quite sure if they made up in the real world or not, or if that's just like a idealization or whatever.
Yeah.
What actually happened and what might happen in the future are a little vague.
Yeah. Also, is it just me, or did the anime have a bit of a Kud bias in regards to its content? Because I noticed there was a lot of focus on making Kud seem incredibly adorable, and like there were a couple of points where you mentioned there's a scene in Kud's route where she's captured by Tevoa rebels, and and she's basically strung up inside of a cave with nothing but her cowl on, and you definitely, and according to Zeke, you see a lot more of Kud, quote unquote, in the anime.
I think it's 2 CGs, one where she's strung up and the other where she's outside. So it's like you don't get stuff like her crawling through the mud and sliding down waterfalls or whatever.
So you do get to see her ass in the visual novel.
Yes, actually you do. because like the cape is lifted up at a weird angle.
Okay. Okay, I was kind of wondering because it's like, hello, good, but hello.
Yeah, that is there. But yeah, I think you just see more in the anime just because it's animated.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like it's literally two CGs.
Yeah. Honestly, the anime you don't notice until she actually starts breaking the chains.
I didn't notice until like the second CG in the visual novel that she was actually naked. I thought the cowl was just covering everything, because of the angle it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the anime's version of that route is a little bit more effective in some ways because you actually see the stuff in Tavuya, whereas in the visual novel it's mostly narration delivered by Kud over like a cloudy backdrop. It's kind of a massive like info dump, but I mean it's a very emotionally delivered thing. It's just
yeah, it definitely does help actually seeing the conflict unfold and seeing Kud actually go through everything that is happening in her home in her homeland.
Yeah, I do miss some stuff from the visual novel mostly because Kud's route, like Haruka's, is very romantically inclined. Probably by far the most physically intimate of them, and it's not super important to the actual plot, but it's just very sweet. And when they start when their thoughts start, because the thing about once she's captured, that narration kind of just flips back and forth between Riki worrying about her and her thinking about Riki. So like it goes, the narration just keeps flip-flopping back and forth until their thoughts just kind of blend and you're not even sure who's talking anymore. And then a rock teleports. Because I guess that they're just that synchronized.
Yeah. The gears teleporting it kind of comes out of nowhere in the anime, but like it's a moment that has a very strong. Them having a very strong emotional connection is still present in the anime, and it is still very effective.
Yeah. I really like their friendship, honestly.
What?
I really like their friendship, honestly. It's nice.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Even before route shenanigans. Because I don't know, just in the visual novel, the way they grade each other and whatnot is just really amusing.
It's my favorite character for the record.
All right. That's cool.
Fuck, we kind of skipped over Haruka's route.
Which we should never do because I think it's the best route in the game. But,
and weirdly, well, let's get into it.
Right. I really like Haruka's route and the way it's written. It's aside from like refrain and stuff, it's probably like the longest of the routes, and I think it's kind of the best for it. Particularly since it's kind of about Haruka, but also about Kanata, so they kind of needed that extra time.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this scenario and this idea so much of a family forcing them to be the good one and the bad one. And this sort of persistent contest between them that drives them against each other.
Yeah.
Even though deep down neither of them really wants that.
Yeah, and due to everything that Kanata's been sort of forced to do to Haruka, and just being forced to treat Haruka so poorly, Haruka ends up sort of forgetting that, like, yo, she's my sister and I love her and she loves me back. It's just our family sucks.
Yeah. Probably like the most outwardly probably like the most actual tragic background in the game, because everyone else is just kind of like, I've got issues, but like they kind of come up as the story progresses. This is like, man, these are issues, and they go back.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, Komari's issues do go back quite a ways, but they don't really come into.
But they weren't really a problem until you showed up.
Damn you, Ricky! Damn it, Ricky! What, you gotta fucking do this?
Before Ricky shows up with his dead cat. Why you gotta make cats die, Ricky?
No. Why you gotta make cats die, Kyosuke? Yeah, you see?
Kyosuke, why are you murdering cats?
Fucking hell! We're making Kyosuke sound like a terrible person, but he's actually not.
That's not kosher. The Jews don't approve of that, I think.
Kyosuke's a fantastic character, but we'll get into that later.
Yes, I got into it back. There we go.
Something I really did. I really loved the. I really loved how Kanata's character was handled.
Yeah.
Although I will admit, it kind of comes out of nowhere, or rather, it's brought up abruptly, rather than coming out of nowhere.
I think that's part of the adaptation's problem, because they basically just get everyone in a room and it's like, here is my tragic backstory, as opposed to the visual novel where it's something that, as you keep hanging out with Haruka and getting into trouble, it's just stuff you.
Yeah. Although
there's so many
the anime does try to mitigate this somewhat by having Kanata make. I'm still going.
Yeah, you talk. I'm trying to fix this internet issue.
The anime does try to mitigate this somewhat by having Kanata allude to the two family problems and her relationship with Haruka in very vague ways. But generally speaking, you don't really get to know Kanata and what her issues are until, or at the very least, you don't really get a strong idea that something's not right with her until Kud sees the scars on her.
Right.
At which point, Kanata's character gets a lot more focus in the anime.
Yeah, that was all a bit more gradual in the visual novel, and it's stuff that Riki notices more because Kud doesn't have to be Kanata's roommate. You actually get to choose her roommate in the visual novel. I think your options are she can either be Mio's roommate, Kanata's roommate, or Haruka's, I think, actually. Although to get some of those optional scenes I mentioned, you have to have Kanata be your roommate. No, wait, never mind. You have to have Haruka be your roommate. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah. Which is actually one of those few scenes where the perspective actually completely changes and like the color box changes to like magenta, so it's Haruka's perspective. Yeah, it's one of those deals. So yeah, there's a lot of like, there's so much. I was telling you before that I think there's so much about Haruka's character that just kind of gets cut when you don't have that romantic angle.
Yeah, because when you're romantically involved with someone like Haruka, who's like, you know, sort of this like goofy troublemaker sort of character, you don't really get to see really deeper sides of her if you don't really have that sort of intimate relationship with her.
Yeah. I think one of the most telling things for me was there's a long stretch in the visual novel where she's kind of got a dilemma going on where she's like, I don't know if I just the idea that Enrique's like, bitch, shut up, I don't care. I love you. It's like, you know. And then there's just like little stuff that I miss, like when she's like, oh, we got to do something super important, and then all you do is you break into a classroom at sunset just so she can like share her like playlist with you with like one earbud in one ear and her earbud in the other ear and stuff like that. Like, I don't know.
That's actually kind of romantic.
I know, stuff like that. It's the whole thing with the families isn't so much info dumped on you. It's more gradually investigated by talking to Kanata and then talking to
Haruka.
To show, and then talking to her parents. Her parents are almost completely cut out. Her quote unquote parents are almost completely cut out of the anime when they're actually kind of a big part of the visual novel, because there's a lot of scenes where you get to see her home life, and there's a lot of parts where she doesn't want you to go to her house because her parents are going to be home. or not home, and she doesn't want to deal with that and stuff like that. And you get to see like this very robotic way that they interact with her. And this one part where she literally just blows up and flips the table because she can't stand how fake they're being. Like this is so much more like gradual build up and drama to it in the visual novel that the anime just kind of has to condense and deliver.
Yeah,
and I mean it's service.
You were cutting
the one route
so much.
Yeah, it's the one arc I think is like noticeably weaker in the anime, and it's a damn shame because it's kind of the best.
God, we're having so many connection issues today.
Mm-hmm.
This is so infuriating.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've gone through this, so I got the gist of what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm closing Discord too. I've closed basically everything non-essential. I don't know what else I can do.
Well, you're cutting out less often, so that's good.
Yeah, I guess so. So it's infuriating me because I'm wired. I shouldn't be cutting out at all. Right. So, fuck. Bitch, I don't know.
Yeah, I do think Haruka's arc in the anime is still good, and it's still effective. I still liked it.
Yeah.
But it does sound like there is just a lot more to it in the visual novel, and the anime version is just objectively weaker.
Yeah. Also weaker.
Weaker.
You
keep Mr. Weakler out of this.
Okay. Then I guess I'm getting into refrain. Or rather, we're gonna get into Kudagaya's route, which starts off refrain. Personally, I think this is the weakest route in the game, if only because it's not even really about Kudagaya herself.
Yeah, she seems kind of, I don't want to say tertiary to the storyline, but is she just very secondary? Like, there's just not a whole lot of focus on her here.
Yeah, because like you kept cutting out for me.
I don't want to say she's tertiary to the story, but it's like she's very secondary to the primary focus, which is the Groundhog Day loop.
Yeah. Almost exclusively on the core group of Little Busters helping Riki get with her. And then the second half of the route is occasionally you go have cookies with her, and then the fucking timeline keeps resetting and stuff, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And it never really focuses on her specifically.
Yeah, the anime condenses that down to the problem with Kudagaya being Kudagaya's friends being antagonized by a couple of bitches. And then it just kind of launches into the time loop.
Yeah. It does start that same way in the visual novel as well. I think the most you really get out of Kudagaya is she has a different name, and it's not super relevant to anything. So she's an entertaining character, but I just don't think like the story is all that interested in focusing on her. Her route is mostly used just to foreshadow refrain, honestly.
I did find it amusing where it's like, hey, Kudagaya, why don't you be Kud's roommate? And she's like, no, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Imagine her in her pajamas on the bed after she gets out of a bath. I would jump her in a heartbeat. Do you want that? And Riki's like, hell no. And then Riki goes over and it's like, I'm sorry, Kud, it's not going to work out.
I'm getting really freaking sick of this.
Me too. Hopefully it won't show in the actual episode or whatever.
I'm just... I guess I can close this too. Anyway, so then we get into Rin 2, which I have some complaints about.
Yeah, I think I know what your main complaint is.
Yeah, my main complaint is they cut out half of it.
Well, not cut out, but rather they
Yeah, they
condensed it into a montage. The montage is fine. It's effective in getting across what happened, but
yeah,
I do feel you really needed to see the gradual failing of what actually happened with Rin and Ricky.
Yeah, there's a lot to that sequence that some people don't like that sequence because it's slow and it's plotting. Shows off arguably her worst qualities during it, but like that's all kind of important. So I feel bad that they cut that out. There's kind of a concentrated effort in the anime to make Rin more likable. I feel like in the visual novel, she's just a freaking brat sometimes. That might have been part of it. I think it was cut more for time than for that, but it does certainly.
With hold on, heartburn.
Okay.
With Rin, I think it's very important to actually see her at her worst, and not having that in the anime kind of hurts.
Yeah,
and one of the main issues I have. Like, you do get to see elements of her immaturity, of her emotional and mental immaturity, but it's not really driven home the way it probably should be. So the sense of growth with her isn't as prominent as it probably should be.
Yeah. Okay. It says I have like 30 megabits down. I don't understand why this is a problem.
Maybe your ISP is a bitch.
I think it might just be a Google thing tonight, honestly.
It might be.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't like that they cut that that whole bit out. Combined with them not adapting Rin 1 in basically any capacity beyond the very introduction of the let's go out stuff, was it kind of contributes to a bit of a failing. I think they made up for that, making Rin a bit more active in the rest of the story, but than she was in the visual novel, and even giving her kind of her own like episode by the end, which was kind of in the visual novel but not quite as extensive.
Yeah.
Because Refrain is kind of broken up into episodes for each of them, where you see things from their perspective and the text box changes color again. Episode Masato, episode Kenga, episode Kyosuke, episode Rin, then episode Ricky. But and then switching back and forth between Ricky's default between each one, more or less. You and I were both in agreement that we really liked the direction of episode 10.
Oh, I think it was 11.
I mean, they're both good, but I think it was 10 where he's recapping everything.
You know, I can actually let me look into the Discord chat and double check here.
Yeah.
Because I didn't tweet much. Sorry, I didn't post much. Let me see. It's Refrain 10.
Yeah. We were both in agreement that we really liked the direction of that episode.
Yeah, what it does is it's an entirely Kyosuke focused episode. Like the entire episode is Kyosuke monologuing about everything that occurred up to this point, and how the entire intention of what he was doing was try and create a centralized dream world where he can help Rin and Riki grow up and mature so they can face the harshness of what's happening in the real world.
Yeah.
And the way that it goes about this is that every time that it needs to showcase every time it needs to showcase a necessary clip from previously in the show. The clip is actually superimposed onto the scenery of wherever Kyosuke is, like relevant scenery. Like if he's talking about them creating the Little Busters baseball team, you see the footage reflected in the baseball that Kyosuke is holding.
Yeah.
Stuff like that throughout the entirety of the episode, and it's majorly effective.
Interspliced with those like really dark clips of him crawling through the mud in the real world.
Yeah, with covered in blood and everything.
Yeah, which I don't know if the anime made it clear, but in the visual novel, he remarks that he keeps waking up in the real world and in the same spot, crawling forward, not getting far enough, falling asleep, and then waking up way back in the same spot again. Yeah. He's like, he remarks, time us here.
Yeah.
And event, it's only broken at the very end.
Dang.
Yeah. So yeah, lit bus.
Did they plan this?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did. It's like the official abbreviation. It's the name of the file extension, and whatnot.
Lit bus.
Yep.
The bus is quite lit.
It was very lit. Now that we think about it. Yeah. What I like about its execution, especially in the visual novel, is that when you do Rin 1, that situation of, quote, the other school is explained to you like almost at the very beginning of the game, and then you don't hear about it again until you replay through Rin. You do it again for Rin 2, and it's explained again. And then you realize, and then when you get to that point in refrain, he's like, "No, that wasn't them. That was us. We're dying right now.
We're dying. Please help."
Yeah. Well, actually, it's more like we're dying. Run.
Yeah, Kyosuke's intention was more save yourselves rather than save us.
Well, he didn't even think it was possible to save them, which is something. Some people don't like it. Some people don't like that. Everybody lives in the end, but I feel like it was necessary because the whole point is Riki surpassing Kyosuke, and what better way to surpass Kyosuke than do something he didn't even think was possible.
Speaking of, I noticed the ending of the anime was a little bit vague on something. I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, but what the anime does is when Rin and Riki are pulling Kyosuke away from the bus, the bus explodes.
Yeah.
But then after the commercial break, or rather what was originally a commercial break, we cut to like 3 months later, and everyone's back at school. People's wounds have healed. People are coming back from the hospital. Kengo's leg is broken. Dude can't catch a break. Stop breaking bones, you asshole. Yeah. Kengo's leg is broken. And then Kyosuke just kind of jumps in from the window, like Kyosuke.
Yeah, like you do.
But it's kind of vague whether or not they survived the explosion, or if Rin and Riki created a new dream world.
Yeah, that ambiguity is somewhat intentional. I honestly think if you play the visual novel, it's a little bit more clear that it's supposed to be real. But some degree of ambiguity, I think, was intended.
Yeah.
Because in the visual novel, what happens is that they do run away, and then you see Riki lying in a hospital bed and Rin's up against the wall, and they talk for a bit, and then it just fades to black, and then a voice that I think is implied to be Kyosuke is just like, "You did it. Congratulations. You're both going to be okay now." And then the dialogue box shows up, and you have to select. He's like, "But you lived. You survived. Everything's fine now. Is that not enough for you?" And you're like, "It's not enough." And then And then he keeps trying to persuade you to click the other fucking button, and you're like, no, it's not enough. And then all of a sudden you're back at the crash. It's kind of like a trial and error sequence where it's just like, say, pull these people aside, or wait, or get this luggage out of the way, or do something else first. Make Riki do this, make Rin do that, etc. Kind of like a trial and error thing. You fuck up, everything explodes. But if you go through the exact sequence the game wants you to, you pull everyone out, you swap Kyosuke for the wet sweater or whatever the fuck it was, and then the bus still explodes, but it's pretty clear in the visual novel that they're far away from that. So when it transitions into or whatever, it's a little bit more clear that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, in the anime, it's shown that they're much closer to the bus when it explodes. But yeah, that's kind of the thing I wanted to bring up, because I noticed that on I noticed that when watching it, I'm like, that seems a little too convenient.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm pretty sure it was intended that they live. Yeah.
Yeah. I just find the what if of did they create a new dream world to be fascinating, really.
Yeah. Also, there's a drama CD in which Kyosuke literally states that it's not it's not another dream world. But at the same time, I mean, like, if it was, he wouldn't know that. So,
it's still kind of vague.
Yeah. But part of me is just like, I don't think they would have Kyosuke say that if they didn't want to tell us something.
Yeah.
So, and then the extra routes. Actually, the extra routes more or less. I think the extra routes more or less confirm it, unless they really want to get mind fucky with us, because like. Sasumi's route is actually after Refrain. That's supposed to be in the real world. And then Kanada's route is in the dream world, and the second half is out of it. So there's some stuff going on there.
There's some fuckery going on.
Yeah, something like that. It's honestly simpler to understand if you just accept that's the real world. But yeah, there's something about the dynamic between Riki and the Natsume siblings that I find very heartfelt and human. One thing I actually appreciate is that the anime actually gives an explanation for Riki's narcolepsy, whereas the visual novel kind of implies it, I guess.
Really?
Because in the anime, when his parents died, he forced himself to go to sleep, so he wouldn't have to face that.
To sort of, to sort of escape the trauma of whatever's happening.
Yeah. He forced himself to sleep, so I guess his narcolepsy is kind of self-inflicted in the anime. Whereas in the visual novel, it's just kind of a thing he has, I guess. I think the implication is that it's because of his parents' death, but it's not quite as directly stated as it is in the anime.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I really like that entire sequence, especially I think it happens in both mediums, but where he kind of mentally regresses to before he was born. He's like, it's better here. I don't want pain and loss anymore. And then he thinks of all the people he's met and all the people he's loved. And he's like, who are these people? I want to meet them. I want to spend time with them. I think it's all worth it if I can reach them. And I really like that part.
Yeah, that's kind of actually a very important thing to kind of just say in general, because life sucks.
Yeah.
Life sucks ass. But it's worth it to experience. It's worth experiencing pains and hardships and the problems of life in order to meet people you care about and whom you can really form a personal bond with, and people who can understand you and that you can understand them. It's important to have those sorts of relationships in life, and that life isn't actually completely meaningless just because it ends in loss. There is something to be gained on a very
Yeah.
personal level for everybody.
To live is to lose, but it's much sadder to have never have had. So,
Exactly, and I really love that. I adore that.
yeah. Um,
Like that's one of those messages that gets me very personally. So
yeah. I like I like the conflict between Kyosuke and Kengo because as I said to you, Kengo wants to keep them sheltered and protected in the dream world because he failed to protect someone in the past and he was too busy with his kendo practice to spend as much time with the little busters as he wanted. So to him, it's much better if they just stay the way that they are. And a large part of Refrain is getting him to move on.
yeah, it's kind of interesting. Masato, who's another character who knows exactly what Kyosuke is. In fact, Masato is Kyosuke's right-hand man through most of this.
Yeah.
Masato says multiple times throughout the series, it's like, "Oh, Kengo's the one who's a bigger idiot than me."
Yeah.
Turns out Kengo actually is a bigger idiot than Masato.
Yeah, I like that dichotomy. The dichotomy that Kengo is quote the strongest friend, but he's also a massive crybaby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and his weakness comes from him wanting to protect Rin and Riki too much
Yeah.
to the point where it would be detrimental to them.
Yeah.
And interestingly, the story tries to frame Kyosuke as, or at the very least, at first, it tries to sort of give sort of a framing of Kyosuke's doing bad things, but it comes off much more as really Kyosuke is just a very well-intentioned extremist here, going to great lengths to try and have Rin and Riki, mostly Rin, mature and develop and be able to stand on their own.
Yeah.
And something that I noticed, at the very least in the anime, was that Kyosuke is clearly very broken up about what happened with the exchange program.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason for that is because he wasn't able to see the situation from the standpoint that Rin and Riki were able to see it from, because it was happening directly to them. He was more secondary, so he wasn't able to fully grasp how
wasn't able to firmly grasp it.
He wasn't able to grasp exactly how ready, or in this case, not ready, like not emotionally or mentally ready, Rin was for the exchange program.
Yeah.
And he just ended up breaking her further.
Yeah.
Although, interestingly, I find that although Rin 2 and that ending of both Rin and Riki failing still ends up having a net gain in the next repeat that Kyosuke does.
Yeah.
Because Riki actually does learn from it, and he's able to be the leader that he wasn't able to before, and be able to actually get the little busters together and honestly break Rin out of her shell without Kyosuke's help. Yeah. Kyosuke only really helps once by saying that Kengo's lying about something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all Riki at that point.
Yeah, that's the entire point of Refrain, is that Riki has to be what Kyosuke once was.
If anything, the point is that Riki has to be better than Kyosuke.
Yeah, because at the beginning of Refrain, they essentially switch roles from how they were way back when.
Yeah.
That's why the last shot before the baseball game is Riki reaching out his hand to Kyosuke the same way Kyosuke reached his hand out to him as children.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like how realistically Rin's like extreme social anxiety is played as.
Yeah, she mostly just kind of shrinks away and tells people to just kind of shoot, go away.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah, like the first thing the VN says is that she's better with cats than she is with people.
Yeah, because cats don't talk back to you.
I mean, I don't know about her cats, but She's got some fucking cooperative ass cats.
No kidding.
Yeah. Although I mean, I think one of the things I do like about what's this guy from the anime? I don't even remember. The beginning of Rin 2 is that one of her cats is getting really old and sickly and about to die, and she handles the situation like really maturely.
Yeah, that's not in the anime.
Yeah, where she's just like, I want you to distract the other cats all day because I want to spend all day with this one because it's going to be his last day. Like this, she's not just so many cats that this has happened before, and like I think she says that before Kyosuke always had to do this for her, but at the beginning of Rin 2, she spends the whole day with that one cat as he passes away. That's kind of how Rin 2 begins.
That's very interesting, because that kind of showcases sort of her having matured in some way.
Yeah.
But not being able to deal with actual people and the people like who are very close to her personally.
Yeah. Because the same thing doesn't happen in Rin 1, but it's a very stark contrast from Rin 1, which is mostly about building her up in this way. So after all those routes, things have apparently just carried over in that sense.
Yeah. There's also a scene that happens in I think it was either Refrain 11.
Yeah.
Where Rin and Riki have to exit the dream world because Kyosuke believes that they're ready to deal with the real world.
Yeah.
One of the last things that happens in the dream world is Kyosuke has to say goodbye to Rin and Riki because he believes he'll never see them again.
Yeah.
And you told me this, that Hikaru Midorikawa, who plays Kyosuke, when he was doing the voice acting for this in the anime, he actually broke down crying in the recording booth, and someone had to escort him out of the booth.
Yeah,
because you said something like he didn't have full context when doing the visual novel, but having like the visual cues and seeing it animated was too much for him, and he just ended up relating too much and just kind of broke down.
Yeah, he related to Kyosuke very strongly.
Yeah, I can't blame him really.
Yeah.
One, his acting in that scene is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
like it gets you here.
Yeah, and
I'm tapping my chest.
It just kind of breaks your perception of Kyosuke in a lot of ways, because it is that sort of not so stoic moment where he's like, "Don't go, Kyosuke. I love you," and he's like, "No, fuck you. I love you more."
It's like, don't you think I know that?
It's like, you shut up. I'm the one dying here. You know.
Yeah, but it's just kind of a perfect moment to kind of cap that one moment encapsulates and caps off the entire relationship between Riki and Kyosuke up to that point.
Yeah. And I just love that there's something really wholesome about this story in its entirety, that the only reason they're even surviving is because Masato and Kengo took like lethal blows for them. But then this entire Dreamworld scenario, they're even thinking about themselves. They know they're going to die. It's all about preparing them for a world without them.
Yeah.
There's just something really
so incredibly selfless.
Yeah. These are some good children, Bob.
There's some good kids. Some good kids.
And then at the same time using all of these other friends' like unresolved issues as like a training grounds for them, so that they can get closure as well, while Riki and Rin grow into. Because that's the whole point of these routes, essentially, is to give these girls who are presumably also about to die closure for their issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except Kuragaya, who gets no closure unless you complete refrain and then go back through her out again and then choose a different answer, and then there's a different ending for her out. But
that just sounds like a lot of effort for very little payoff.
Yeah, I mean that's. I'm sorry, you're not worth the effort. But yeah, they're for all 6 of you Kuragaya fags out there, there is another ending to her out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this series, and also I couldn't help but notice, like almost immediately, Refrain had a huge jump in just general production quality.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, the animation was better, the direction was better, the storyboarding was better. Everything was just.
I think they knew they were getting into important stuff, so it was serious time. But it's also, it's half the length of the season before it, and they might have worked stuff out and had better scheduling and whatnot. So yeah. I mean, all that combined.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can definitely tell that like the anime staff put a lot of effort and a lot of love into the adaptation.
Yeah, and it's really sad just how much passion went into this, and everyone's just like, but it's not Kyoani.
Oh, fuck them.
I know.
Filibusters is good. Shut up.
I know, and it just really saddens me that the series doesn't get the recognition it deserves just because the studio, the building I wanted didn't house the people working on it.
Look, I might have had the same problem once upon a time.
Down to it, it's all about the staff and the people behind it. A studio is just a building. Yeah.
Well,
for the most part.
It depends on the studio, but generally speaking, most studios are freelance.
Yeah.
And it really matters most who's on the show and who's working on it, and how much personal investment they have in the material.
Yeah.
And I think in that regard, the Little Busters anime is great.
Yeah, it's got a lot of
really good adaptation,
great direction, smart. Some issues aside, some really smart adaptational choices, and really good just design work. I really like the anime designs. They're a lot more vibrant and cuter than the VN designs. Not that the VN designs are bad, but they really took advantage of the motion, I think, and the.
Definitely
make the colors pop more. Things are a bit smoother looking and cuter, I guess. And I think what's probably really intentional is that the whole show has sort of like just kind of the color palette feels dreamy in a way,
which is kind of apt.
Yeah, very apt. So I did really like that.
It does have a little bit of that like dreamlike atmosphere, yeah.
Yeah. I think the animation for the most part is pretty good. I think sometimes it's a little stiff, but for the when it needs to be good, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Although Refrain episode 1 has like crazy good character animation.
Yeah. I was even remarking that episode 10, even with how brilliantly directed it really is just kind of like a disguised recap limited animation episode if you really think about it. But it never feels that way just because, first of all, the narration is explaining everything to you, and secondly, that it's just so well directed and visually interesting, despite not having a lot of new animation to it.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like we're being cheap, so let's be cheap. It felt more like we kind of have an excuse to be cheap, so let's just be cheap.
But you know what? It's an artistic cheapness.
Yeah, exactly.
It's extremely well done.
Exactly. Artists are nothing if not massive cheapskates.
Depends on the artist. I don't know. Fucking Mr. Vantablack over here.
Oh, Vanta Black. I remember I tweeted the picture of like what's his name, Chris Hemsworth or whatever, Yeah, that one like extremely black shirt. I'm like, what is this shirt made of? Vanta black?
Yeah.
His shirt looks so freaking black. It's like somebody just like deleted his torso from existence.
Yeah.
Which distracted from the primary point, which is that his son was cosplaying as Captain America and not Hawkeye.
But yeah, it is unfortunate. I think that's a different actor.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I don't know the Revengers or whatever.
Anyway, the Little Busters anime does have a couple problems. At least one of them, Mio's arc, is sort of a holdover from the visual novel.
Yeah.
That's more of just an issue of being faithful to the visual novel rather than an actual flaw of the adaptation.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's some stuff you're just gonna naturally miss out on due to the differences in format, and there are some decisions that were probably necessary, but I don't really like. But on the whole, still one of the better adaptations of a visual novel I've seen.
Oh yeah, I've seen some really good adaptations of visual novels, and I've seen some really shit adaptations of visual novels.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this ain't no Hourglass of Summer. I hate that OVA. I love the visual novel. I hate the OVA. Like, this is actually a very, very well done adaptation of the original visual novel, and it's a very good good anime in its own right.
Yeah, this is definitely an anime you could recommend on its own, I feel.
Definitely.
Although you should also play the visual novel now available on the Steam Marketplace.
Yeah, I actually have it in my Steam wish list. So like as soon as I either have the money or if it goes on sale, I'm picking it up.
Okay.
I mean, the Steam summer sale should be coming up soon, so
it's true because summer is coming up soon, naturally.
So Little Busters is probably going to be on a deep discount then.
Yeah.
Like everything is.
Yeah, more or less.
It's like you have maybe 5% of the Steam marketplace that isn't on sale during the summer sale.
Except Alice Madness Returns, which will forever be $30 for no reason. I don't know why. I don't know.
Realty McGee wants your money.
I just get really like annoyed because every now and again I go into GameStop just to see I peruse the pre-owned PS3 section. Like maybe I'll add something to the collection and whatnot. And I already have a copy of Alice Madness Returns, so whatever. But like every time I go there, Alice Madness Returns is still freaking $30. I'm just like, why? This game is just immune to price drops.
Why?
Yeah,
it's pre-owned.
I already have it. I'm just like, so I don't care. But I'm just like, why is this never? This game should be like a $6 fucking pick me up at this point. Yeah. Why is it still $30?
Some might argue it was a $6 pick me up back when it was released for $60.
Oh, hey,
did I say that? Anyway, anything else?
I think anything else would be kind of backtracking at this point. So, yeah. So, yeah, that was our thoughts and discussion on Little Busters. Next,
there's one lit bus.
That was indeed one lit bus. Next anime we're going to talk about, I don't know, some fucking.
I mean, we could finally get around to Digimon Tamers.
I guess we could, but they just put Hyoka on Crunchyroll.
we could do Hyoka.
We could.
I'm sorry, Tamers. I know it's your anniversary year. We're going to get to you soon.
I don't know. I really like Hyoka. I think there's a lot to talk about with Hyoka. I don't know if it's a full episode's worth. Maybe combine it with something else. I don't know. You know what? I'm halfway. I've been halfway through watching Kisniver for like 3 weeks now. Maybe I could finish that. You have any interest in Kisniver?
I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a few episodes.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But oh yeah, and did you say you were gonna watch Darley when it was over?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a show that we could definitely talk about and even invite someone on for.
Yeah, once Darlifra is over, I'm gonna just kind of blow through that.
Yeah. Maybe watch Kiesniver first. I feel like if you watch Darlifra first, Kiesniver is not going to seem as impressive. That's just me, though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, we'll figure that out. But thanks for tuning in. As always, you can find me at Zeke Freak, wherever Zeke Freaks are sold. If you like what you heard here and you want more content like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel that you're already on. It's as simple as that. Click and drag, motherfucker. Friend me on PSN. Follow me on Twitter. You can find me on the Dang It Ron Paul Amino, where I have a very active blog of shit posts, blog articles, fanfics, and making artists really, really mad at me. So that's a thing you could follow if you use Amino and you like Druid Sandstorm.
For me, you can find me on the usual places: Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. Yes, I am on Instagram.
You can also find him on Snapchat and Musical.ly.
The fuck is that last one?
Oh my god, you never heard of Musical.ly?
No, and I don't want to. Shut up.
No, I have to send you the I Hate Everything video about it. It's great.
Oh, please do. It sounds terrible. But yeah, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. Like Zeke said, you can friend me on PSN as well. Same name. C Charmander K.
Never on.
Everywhere. You can also find me on the Discord server.
That's right. Join our Discord. There will probably maybe be a like in below, maybe a link. Also a like, because you left a like on this video, which you should.
And it's basically it. Really, if you want to talk to me, if you really want to talk to me, check me on either Twitter or Discord. I'm on there. I'm on those two the most.
Yeah, but not on any reasonable hour of the day because he's probably sleeping.
That's just the last week because I've had a shit sleep schedule. I should be fine now, hopefully.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you have any topic suggestions, questions, comments, concerns, either leave a comment below on this video or you can email us. You can email us at bakagaijinshow@gmail.com. I hope you know how to spell that because the title is literally right there. So fuck, I was waiting for the internet to catch up with me. Okay, so before the internet freaking crashes on me, thank you for listening. Zeke Freak out. Ciao, ciao for now.